there an update on Nolan available?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully it looks like it got mostly meat. So obviously off day tomorrow will help. He'll get treatment. Spoken after the game. He's optimistic that he'll be in there when we get back and start playing again on Friday in St. Louis. But got him pretty good. Had a kind of more of a stinger. Didn't have as much feel for his in his hands, shaking a little bit. So didn't want to justify him trying to go out and play defense. And hopefully be ready to go on Friday.
I know it was classified as a right forearm contusion, but on the TV it looked like it was almost near his elbow. Was it kind of like a funny bone situation where it hit the nerve differently?
Yeah, it's in that area. It's in that meaty area. I can't really say I've got a lot of meat in that area myself, but he does. So yeah, I mean in that area, I think it, did complicate a little bit with some nerve. I think that's probably the only major concern of it. But he's he's optimistic, as is the trainers. We'll know more tomorrow.
Um, Earlier before the game, you mentioned the importance of having a complete bullpen. Of course, you want those guys that you have in the late innings, but having the ones that you can insert in those middle innings is just as important. What did you see from that part of your staff today?
Yeah, I mean Justin was really wasn't able to control the baseball as much. Couldn't get ahead. Just got ahead of one of the six he faced. Um, but the four seamer was good for strikes. So just wasn't able to hold it right there. Johnny Gant dodged traffic and got through it, and I thought Luis Garcia was really effective to give us two, and Andrew was effective also to, we had four scoreless at the end to give us a fighting chance.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Derek?
Mike, what did you see from Kim? A lot of fly balls early, and then out of the ballpark there, just in a bunch.
Yeah, you read my mind. I mean, that was one of the first things you look at is where the ball's going early, and then what's it doing as the game progresses. Sometimes they're in the air a little early, and then they get on the ground. But I turned to Ollie in about the second, maybe the early third, and I said, "Man, ball's in the air a lot." And of course, Ryder said it, and the guy had a ground ball to short. But yeah, I just noticed that he was, wasn't able to get the ball on the ground. Velocity down a tick. Slider was most effective pitch. But yeah, he just lived up top too much and in the air a lot.
Is that usually just kind of like I guess, a delivery glitch for lack of a better thing? If the ball is elevated, ball is up, and then velocity down. Sometimes the guy's searching.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's been pretty darn good, so we give him a break. He could be a number of things, just not a feel for the ball, not a feel for. I don't know. It could be any number of things. Has something to do with their hitters too. They put some good swings on some baseballs that were up, and they made him pay. So that's probably a combination of things.
Over the past, well, this whole Ohio trip, but really over the past several weeks, talked about just kind of the positive direction of so many of the indicators that you look for, whether it's pitching wise or offensively, the team is going. Does it feel like it's difficult to kind of break away from that five iron? That you have things going in the right direction, but putting it all together for a run of wins hasn't quite happened?
I might take exception with that. We won 7 out of 10 coming in the game. That's 700 baseball. and before that,
No,
be the Giants. 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3. So, I don't, I don't know how much more consistent you want. I mean, clearly we'd like to have gotten that one today and been able to get another one over in Cincinnati. There's no question about that. But, like I said, 7 out of 10. I'd like to know where what more we'd like. We do that the rest of the year, we'll be pretty happy. We do that, you know.
Yeah, it's with that stretch that you've kind of hovered around 500, and then you got back to it, and that's what draws me to ask that question.
No, I do understand the question. I mean, listen, but I don't. I gotta be able to defend what we've done recently to also. But I do appreciate the question of the consistency. But it's just I feel like we're playing and getting pretty much the most out of what we have pretty consistently, and that's ultimately all we can do. But the bats have been consistent. Defense again was good today. Controlled running game, did a lot of things well. They put some swings on the baseball that got out of the ballpark and couldn't overcome them.
How do you kind of approach them the next 48 hours? We talked about the trade deadline, and you you manage the team you have, as you've said multiple times. Is there any sort of curiosity as this goes? I mean, there's not a game tomorrow, so you basically have the trade deadline as all the talk.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm aware of it. Follow it peripherally. Not involved with it, and can't do much about it. So, we'll see where it goes and see where it happens, and I'll be supportive either way, regardless of which direction or how we go, if we go anywhere. So, our guys have a good mindset. They've competed well. They've played the game the right way, pretty much all year, and especially over the last 6 weeks. So I can't ask for much more.
Thanks.
Yes, sir, Derek.
Benjamin?
Hey, Mike, piggybacking off my coworker Derek's questions, just along the lines of the trade deadline. I know it's awkward asking the manager about the trade deadline, not the general manager, but since we got you here, at least, can you just kind of put into words the mindset of you thinking like you believe in this team? I know you guys have played better since the All-Star break, and you mentioned the 7-10, 2 wins over 500 since the All-Star break. What is it going to take for this team? What does the team need to do to take the next step in August and into September to really be a contender?
The next step from a personnel standpoint, or from a
That's fair. I guess just can you just maybe from a baseball standpoint? You guys are winning some. What's it going to take to win even more? What trends?
I mean, look, I don't know what more to say. I mean, now it's 11, so you win 7 out of 11 consistently. I really appreciate the question. I understand it completely. We can't win 2 games in one day, and we can't a doubleheader. We got the Cubs coming up into September, but
yeah.
I mean, I know everybody wants this to happen, and would it be sexier if it was 10 in a row? Sure, it'd be super sexy. Would we like that to happen? Absolutely, but I really candidly don't know how to answer Benjamin that question about what needs to happen more when, since we played San Francisco over in their place, we've played good baseball and we've been above 500. Are we 10 games over 500? No. Are we, is it sexy that we're 3 or 4 games over 500? I don't know. I just know that if you go, I thought about this years ago when we were in this spot. If we go 6-4 the rest of the year, at a certain point in 19, and which again is like 6-4, we'd win 91 games. And I declared that, and we talked about it, and talked amongst and we want to win every game. We don't limit ourselves. We can go 8-2, 9-1. Anyway, we went 6-4. We did exactly that on average the rest of the season, and we won 91 games from being 500. And I'm sitting here telling you we went 7-10, and what I hear from the group is, yeah, but really, what are you going to do? I mean, we go 7-10 the rest of the way. That's we've got 60 games left. It's 42 wins. So.
Yep. 7-5 since the All-Star break, if I'm doing this right, and clearly above 500. So that's.
Yeah,
good.
I mean, so.
I guess that's what I was trying to say is you're a confident man. You've got great players. So what's the mindset of the optimism that next month or next week or next day, this team can even go to the next level? That's what I was trying to get.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I mean, listen, we have to continue to get the contributions out of our entire roster. We do have a good team. We do have some good players for sure. We have to get it's a 26-man roster, and we have to get contributions more or less like we have. We're consistent. We mentioned about the bottom of the lineup. We've gotten a little bit of contribution off the bench. We've got some contribution out of the bullpen. We've got some contribution out of the starters. We just now have that consistently have all those work together. So I'm not sure how else to answer the question or help you out.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll wrap it up with Skipper. We'll have